What's going on, gamers? DBMgamer here. Bungie just dropped their weekly update, and damn, there's a lot of numbers to chew through. I'm going to give you the breakdown on what all this means, and while we're doing that, we're also going to watch the birth of my female awoken hunter on the very first mission in the Destiny beta. Now, before we get into all of that, I got to get to my shoutouts. My shoutouts is how I show appreciation back to the community that has got me this far. So I want to give shoutouts to first and foremost Dante Isaacs, Arturo Hernandez, VVV Carnage, Merzed Delju, Callum Turner, my man the Deadly Hazard, Spartacus Design, Etain Abaddon, and the Tryhard King. So in short form, the big takeaway from this, from all the beta stats that they give us, is that they had a lot of players. And this is breaking down from pretty much every console because it was available on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4. So this is all console, no PC here. You had a breakdown of a little over 4.5 million beta testers. Now, if you know anything about beta testing, that's a pretty damn large number. Especially considering one of the only ways, or at least early on, to get into the beta was to have pre-ordered the game. So that's a lot of pre-orders. If you checked out my video where I talked about is Destiny more popular than COD, well, yeah, the numbers are pretty much dead on to what I saw in that video, or what I said in that video. Now, out of the little more than 4.5 million players, that translated to about 6.5 million Guardians created. So not everybody made more than one Guardian. That's actually a little lower number than what I had expected, because as for me myself, in both the alpha and in the beta, I played all three characters all the way to maximum rank, logging in total time between the alpha and the beta, roughly about 80-85 hours between the two. So I put a lot of time into this, and they also give you your stats on your games played and orders of light that were created by using the special powers. But the big telling stat, and this is the one that Bungie I think is probably most proud of, was the concurrent players. Concurrent players means how many players are playing at that moment at the same time, all on the same servers. And the breakdown of that was just under 1 million, and that's a lot for a game that's not even launched. You know, you're talking that's a lot of traffic for one server. On the final day of the beta testing, what Bungie did was they were playing with dropping server patches, cutting stuff on, cutting stuff off, a lot of the Iron Banner and the Moon, and through various sources they were still urging people to stay on. If you got kicked out, they wanted you to jump back in there, because they were trying to put as heavy as a load as they possibly could on the servers to really give them a good workout. And then they were pretty pleased with what they had, because I mean, honestly, I think I got kicked out just a handful of times. It was on the very last day was when I actually had trouble accessing the game. But that is, so if you played on the last day and you were having issues, it has nothing to do with Bungie's tech. It had to do with what Bungie was testing. Now, one of the standard RPG elements of any RPG is just dangling that carrot on a stick right in front of you, so you just constantly keep progressing forward and to do something. Well, Bungie kind of pulled that with us by offering us, hey, you know, you played the 26th, we'll give you this cool emblem, and it'll be exclusive only for you. So people that buy the game and didn't do any beta testing, well, they'll see this and will ask, how do you get it? And you can tell them that they cannot get it. So this is something that was exclusive if you played on the 26th. But you know, hey gamer, I couldn't play the 26th. I was working. What about me? Well, Bungie also had you covered there too. They actually have the second emblem just for playing within the beta. And honestly, in my opinion, I kind of like this one better than the July 26th one. But that's just personal taste. So let's get back to those numbers. The 4.6 million players that they had that played during the beta time, what that's going to roughly translate to is actually that's about half of your sales roughly. So you're looking, I mean, I'm just taking a guesstimation, but what I do in my real life is I deal with a lot of numbers in my business. So what you're looking at roughly on beta testing, and I've seen this from other software titles, You're normally going to get half of the testers. There is some variables in there that you have to throw in, but you're looking at a little more than 4.5 million beta testers. That's going to roughly translate into about 270 million in sales. Every beta tester, if they really like the product, and that's what we're hearing from it, is that everybody really liked this game or this beta test, is that they're going to tell their friends, friends are going to tell their friends, and then everybody's going to run to the store and grab a copy. So bottom line is, come September 9th, Bungie is going to be sleeping on a bed of cash, literally. Now, one question I ran across in my travels of just running around on the net and trying to gather up as much information for you guys was that there was actually a concern about the Iron Banner. One of the things they broke down in the stats was of the 4.6 million, only 1 million people actually participated in the Iron Banner. That's a ratio of a little less than 1 in 4 players. So if you ran around and you saw somebody who was running around with some cool Iron Banner gear, or you saw a hunter like in my last video running around with a Iron Banner cape, they were one of the rare few that actually got in there and actually did well enough to earn some Iron Banner gear. So one question, and I also kind of wondered this myself, I kind of favored the Warlock because that was the class that I started with when doing the beta testing. Did the Iron Banner, did well enough in the Iron Banner, got me a bond of the Warlock that represents the Iron Banner, and all that it was is just a metal ring with some scrolling leaf work on it, and I thought, oh, well, this is kind of cool, until I ran into a hunter that got through the Iron Banner, and they had this beautiful long flowing cape, and I was like, oh, I got the armband, that's kind of gay. Well, someone actually asked Bungie this too in their mail sack. One player actually asked, will the Warlock have visually limited bond items? He's saying that the Warlock was his favorite class to play, but he was strongly considering playing as a Titan just to have some cooler class items. So Deej, the community manager at Bungie, had this to say to that question. The Warlock is anything but subdued. It's easily the most eccentric class in Destiny, which is why Irk, who's the former community manager, and I chose the Order. We have swagger. We don't need to wear a cape like the hunters to get noticed. We have better ways to get attention than to pound the ground with our fists like the Titan. If you crave flashier items for your inventory, wait till you see what we have in store for you in the final game. Would you say the bond was limited if your arm was bathed in light? I'll tell you more, but we've already said too much. You ain't seen nothing yet. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed in this answer. I'm like, that's a lot of just sidestepping. I'm like, so I want to see some fucking gear is what I want to see. So check this out, guys. This is Ulan Tan's burial ring. This is a replica of the legendary burial ring of Ulan Tan. This was actually found during the alpha by player Striker Codex. And he was nice enough to drop a snapshot, so I've got a picture of what this looks like. And this is just actually one particular item. I've actually seen several different Warlock bonds that have this really cool kind of a holographic effect going on them. So if you're a Warlock and you were like, yeah, damn, I really wanted that cape, or you saw the Titan's almost to the floor towel that he had on his side, well, if you like Warlocks, you're not going to be SOL. Well, if you just happen to be going to the movie theaters this weekend, I highly urge you to go check out Guardians of the Galaxy. Nah, not this Guardian of the Galaxy. This Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, alright guys, I am out of here. As always, have a good one.